Your body undergoes a subtle change as you age, and it starts in your legs. Leg strength begins to deteriorate long before you feel weak, long before you notice that you are walking more slowly or clinging on railings. And everything starts to shift when it does. A little control is lost. Your equilibrium begins to deteriorate, and this culminates in a fall that changes the lives of far too many elders. The leading cause of older folks' traumatic death and disability. Here's the reality though, that need not be the case. Small lifestyle adjustments can have a big impact on protecting your legs, balance, and independence. And among the most important keys, being aware of foods to stay away from. Greetings, folks who care about your health. The 5 worst fruits you can be consuming on a daily basis will be revealed today. They are the ones who can be gradually weakening your legs without you even noticing. There is a lot of false advice out there, therefore I felt obligated to make this video. Although some of it seems beneficial, people are being harmed by it. Let's sort through the clutter and focus on what's important for your long-term independence, stability, and strength. Before we begin, I advise you to click the button and activate the bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss any further personalized health advice. Type 1 in the comments if you like this video. If not, input 0 to tell me how I can improve your material. 1. Your legs will become weaker due to the hidden threat. As we age, many of us fail to recognize a subtle yet significant reality until it is too late. Before we even realize it, our legs, which are the cornerstone of our independence, start to deteriorate. This insidious deterioration gradually erodes our balance, coordination, and ultimately our independence without causing pain or warning. What starts off as a small hesitancy to get out of a chair can eventually have disastrous results. A hip fracture, months of immobility, a tumble, or worse. One fall is the start of a catastrophic decline for millions of elderly folks. It doesn't have to be this way though. Many seniors are unaware that leg strength is more than just muscle. Everything that supports those muscles is important. Circulation, energy metabolism, inflammatory management, the neurological system, and even the health of the brain. Signals must pass from the brain to the body each time we move. Only when our legs are receiving the proper nourishment, support, and attention can they react to those signals. And while exercise is essential for maintaining healthy legs, our diet, or lack thereof, is equally crucial. It might be what determines whether our muscles grow or deteriorate, especially when it comes to fruit. This is where an unpleasant misunderstanding sometimes arises. For decades, we have been taught that fruit is always good for you. It's sweet, natural, and colorful. It must also be beneficial to us. However, the reality is more nuanced, particularly with regard to aging bodies. Many fruits, especially the ones we eat in bulk these days, have been grown for their sweetness and shelf life, rather than their nutritional depth or balance. They frequently contain natural sugars, especially fructose, which can have a devastating effect on an aging metabolism even though they are safe in youth. Excess sugar, even from fruit, causes insulin resistance, inflammation, and fat buildup in older adults, particularly in the liver and abdomen. Additionally, it interferes with the neurological and muscular processes that stabilize us. Certain fruits cause blood sugar levels to rise so quickly that the body gets agitated and disoriented, making it difficult to control activity or preserve muscle tone. Some disrupt intestinal health, which impacts brain function and coordination. And all of this takes place in the background until one day standing up feels dangerous and walking becomes a burden. Therefore, it is crucial to know which fruits are harmful rather than beneficial. While not all fruits are bad, some are especially harmful to elderly people who are attempting to maintain their vigor, balance, and leg strength. What fruits, then, should you reconsider before adding to your shopping cart? These are the top 5 culprits that can be subtly weakening your legs, along with suggestions for healthy substitutes. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's now discuss point number 2. The second is grapes, which pose the sweetest challenge to your power. Grapes have a special position among all the fruits we so frequently grab at the grocery store or display with pride on the table for visitors. They feel harmless, are little, and are convenient to eat as a snack. However, grapes can unintentionally turn into one of the worst options for seniors, particularly those who are worried about longevity, strength, and stability. This is the reason. Grapes are like tiny sugar bombs, despite their seemingly benign appearance. More than 20 grams of natural sugar, mostly fructose, are included in 1 cup of grapes. Although fructose doesn't seem as dangerous as table sugar, it has a totally different effect on the aging body. Unlike glucose, fructose does not cause insulin to be released in the same manner after being digested in the liver. Rather, it often encourages the accumulation of fat in the liver, which leads to persistent inflammation, metabolic inefficiency, and even the loss of lean muscle mass. But it's not just metabolism that poses a threat to older folks. It has to do with how sugar affects muscle control and the neurological system. Grapes and other high-sugar fruits raise blood sugar levels rapidly, particularly when consumed by themselves or in between meals. Both energy and neural clarity plummet as a result of this spike. Signaling slows down, the brain becomes hazy, and muscles start to react to movement commands less effectively. To put it briefly, your legs, which rely on prompt, precise, and coordinated brain input, cease to work as they once did. Furthermore, because grapes have virtually no fiber, the sugars penetrate quickly and without buffering. Every time you eat a handful as a snack, your system is strained by the surge into your bloodstream. Grapes may be more detrimental to you than you realize if you're already battling insulin resistance, prediabetes, or simply trying to maintain your independence. Not to mention goods made from grapes, such as raisins, grape juice, and even some naturally occurring fruit treats. All of methods eliminate nearly all of the fiber and water, while further condensing the sugars. For a body already battling inflammation and muscle breakdown, what was once a nibble turns into a metabolic explosion. It's difficult to comprehend how something so comfortable and lovely may be so dangerous. However, the most detrimental effects, particularly over time, are frequently caused by comfort meals that we don't investigate. Therefore, it could be time to reconsider that practice if grapes are on your plate every day. However, there are other hidden dangers besides grapes. Actually, almost all seniors eat the next fruit on this list since it's convenient. However, it can be subtly depleting your leg strength every day. 3. Ripe bananas are the amiable fruit that subtly weakens you. They are quick, soft, easy to chew, and appear to be innocuous, making them a regular habit for many older folks. Since they require little preparation, are naturally sweet, and are high in potassium, they are frequently thought of as the ideal snack for seniors. However, beneath this amiable exterior, ripe bananas can be subtly affecting your leg strength, one of your most valuable possessions. What happens to your body when you consume an overripe, sugary banana is the problem, not the banana itself. Banana's starch turns into sugar as they ripen, which is easily absorbed and digested. About 27 grams of carbohydrates, including more than 14 grams of sugar, are included in a medium-ripe banana. That sugar burns quickly for a younger, metabolically active person. However, that sugar swiftly raises and then rapidly falls blood glucose levels in older persons, especially those who are less active or insulin resistant. Not only does this abrupt descent and fall wear you out, it directly affects your nerve system and muscles. The body turns its attention from creating or repairing tissue to regulating energy when blood sugar levels are out of control. This eventually results in weaker muscular reflexes, delayed muscle repair, and decreased protein synthesis. Your legs will carry you a little less steadily each day, but you might not notice the difference immediately away. The effect on your neuromuscular coordination is even more worrisome. Your legs' muscles, among others, are not self-moving. Your brain sends electrical messages across your nervous system, and they react to those signals. However, foods high in sugar, such as ripe bananas, slow down such signals by promoting inflammation, especially neuroinflammation. The outcome? You go more slowly. You become less quick to react. You lose your equilibrium. This does not imply that bananas are bad. However, a daily ripe banana may be subtly undermining your efforts as a senior, attempting to maintain strength, mobility, and independence. Choose greener, less ripe bananas with a higher starch and sugar content if you do like them. Additionally, to balance their effects, always combine them with healthy fats or protein. However, what if there was a fruit that appeared exotic and nourishing, but actually had almost 3 times the amount of sugar, and caused inflammation and fat accumulation in your legs. Next week, we'll reveal a popular tropical cuisine that might be among the most deceptive health foods for senior citizens. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's go on to point number 4 now. 4. Mangoes. The tropical lure that deceives your muscles. A juicy golden mango has an allure that makes it impossible to resist. It frequently feels like nature's dessert because of its rich sweetness, velvety texture, and tropical scent. An opulent reward that appears to be both healthful and decadent. Mangoes represent vitality, sunshine, and natural sustenance for a lot of seniors. Please let me know where you're coming from today before we begin. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have and leave a comment below. Additionally, remember to click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss any of Senior Health Tips' top health advice. However, there is a potent metabolic trap hidden beneath that cheery, vibrant taste. One that causes leg weakness and steadily weakens muscles in ways that are rarely talked about. Mangoes are dangerous not only because they are sweet, but also because of how concentrated their sweetness is and how your aging body handles them. More than 11 teaspoons and more than 45 grams of sugar, mostly fructose, can be found in a single medium mango. It is possible to control fructose in tiny doses. However, it causes a deadly storm inside the body when taken in large quantities, especially by elderly people with slower metabolisms. Unlike glucose, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively in the liver and does not directly boost blood sugar. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the result of this excess, which causes the liver to produce fat, a disorder that is closely linked to decreased insulin sensitivity, muscle breakdown, and chronic inflammation. This is very important for your legs. For muscle growth, repair, and responsiveness, clear insulin signaling and effective energy metabolism are essential. Your lower body muscles start to deteriorate when that system is irritated or malfunctioning, which happens when you consume large amounts of fructose on a regular basis. Walking may make you feel more exhausted. Getting out of a chair may make you stiff, or even trying to balance yourself may cause you to tremble somewhat. These symptoms are frequently linked to internal imbalances that are subtly exacerbated by high-sugar foods like mangoes. Furthermore, in comparison to their sugar level, mangoes are poor in fiber, despite their vibrant nutritional value. This implies that the sugar enters your bloodstream rapidly, putting additional stress on your body's capacity to control energy and preserve muscle coordination. Consuming mangoes on a daily basis can tip the scales even more quickly toward weakness and instability for seniors who are already struggling with sarcopenia, an age-related loss of muscle. Of course, eating a mango slice once in a while won't ruin your health, but eating it frequently, especially if you don't balance it with fat or protein, can gradually weaken the basic base of your mobility. Mangoes are delicious danger, but wait till you hear about the next item. It's a typical beverage that looks healthy, but it's actually a covert sugar delivery system that may subtly destroy your legs from the inside out. Fruit juice has been marketed as the ideal healthy option for decades. It is vibrant, colorful, and branded with terms like 100% natural or no added sugar. It's even a daily ritual for a lot of elderly. To maintain energy, have a cup of apple juice in the middle of the morning or a small glass of orange juice with breakfast. It is reassuring, recognizable, and healthy. The reality, however, is much more disturbing. One of the most subtle dangers to older person's leg strength and general vigor may be packaged fruit juices. You are ingesting the sugar of many fruits without any of the fiber when you consume a glass of bottled juice. For instance, consider apple juice. 25 to 30 grams of sugar, or 6 to 7 teaspoons, can be found in 1 cup, and it is quickly absorbed. Juice lacks fiber, which slows digestion and controls the amount of sugar released into the bloodstream, in contrast to entire fruits. This indicates that your insulin and blood sugar both rise sharply, setting off a chain reaction of metabolic stress. However, this goes beyond sugar rushes and crashes. Fruit juices and other foods with high glycemic loading encourage inflammation throughout the body, especially in the neurological system and muscle tissues. The neuromuscular link is gradually weakened by that inflammation, which results in slower, less accurate, and weaker leg responses. Your once assumed coordination begins to deteriorate, not because your body is deteriorating, but rather because it is being undermined from within. Even worse, these juices are frequently processed, pasteurized, and depleted of the majority of their natural nutrients. The majority of what's left over is concentrated fructose, which is predominantly metabolized by the liver and leads to fat accumulation, insulin resistance, and ultimately sarcopenia. The outcome? A slow but profoundly ingrained deterioration in leg function and muscle integrity brought on by everyday decisions, like that seemingly innocent juice bottle. Realizing that something that is being actively promoted as healthy could be contributing to the loss of your independence, one drink at a time, is difficult. Furthermore, naturally occurring sugar is already more than your aging body can withstand, so even juices without added sugar are not exempt. However, if juice is a silent saboteur, the last fruit on this list might surprise you the most, because despite being hailed for its anti-inflammatory properties, its secret sugars and acids may be silently causing joint inflammation, stiffness, and accelerated leg muscle fatigue. Sixth, pineapple, the acidity offender concealed by a golden radiance. You can't help but love pineapple. With each bite, its vibrant color, juicy texture, and tropical flavor appear to promise health and vigor. Since pineapple is frequently commended for having the enzyme bromelain, which is believed to improve digestion and lower inflammation, many seniors view it as a light, natural, and even healthy treat. However, there is a truth that is rarely discussed that lurks beneath that golden shine. Despite its visual appeal, pineapple might subtly impair your muscular coordination, joint health, and leg strength. About 16 grams of sugar, mostly in the form of quickly absorbed simple sugar, are found in 1 cup of pineapple. Additionally, pineapple has a high glycemic index, which means it raises blood sugar levels sharply, in contrast to berries or apples. This causes a metabolic spike that causes inflammation in older adults, particularly those with insulin sensitivity or prediabetes, even if they are not diagnosed. This inflammation occurs not just anywhere, but in the joints, muscles, and nerves that control balance and movement. However, pineapple's influence extends beyond its sugar content. It is also rather acidic. Younger people's bodies can frequently withstand acidity, but as they age, many people experience gastrointestinal disorders, mild arthritis, or sensitive joints that are made worse by acidic foods. The outcome? After consuming pineapple on a regular basis, you can have increased joint stiffness, knee or hip swelling, or even general achiness, particularly if your diet already contains additional sugar or processed carbs. This is significant since muscle activity is directly decreased by pain. Your legs may stop fully engaging when you try to walk, exercise, or climb stairs, because the body normally restricts movement in the affected joints. This underutilization causes more muscular atrophy over time, particularly in the fast-twitch muscle fibers that are primarily in charge of stability during rapid reflexes. Pineapple does have some redeeming traits, of course. Bromelain can aid in digestion and, in certain cases, even lessen mild edema. However, the sugar load, acidity, and inflammatory cascade that disproportionately impact older persons outweigh those advantages. The mobility and independence you're attempting to preserve may be compromised by what appears to be a healthy treat. Here's the good news, though. Now that you're aware of which fruits might be causing your leg pain, it's time to concentrate on the ones that will actually help you feel stronger, more coordinated, and more energetic. The greatest fruits that every senior should consume on a regular basis are listed below, along with the reasons why they can be your best line of defense against weariness, falls, and functional deterioration. 7. Living a long life means having strong legs. The legs are frequently the quietest section of our bodies throughout our lives. They sustain us for decades without complaining until they eventually start to fail, and they seldom travel alone when they do. Weak legs lead to a loss of independence, self-assurance, balance, and, above all, the ability to live your life as you see fit. Many people are unaware that the length and quality of your life, not just the number of years, but also the moments spent with dignity and independence, are closely correlated with the strength of your legs. There is more to leg health than just muscle. Your neurological system, circulation, joints, metabolism, and even your cognitive function are all in tune with one another. Every stride you take is a symphony of information from your brain to your body, needing not only physical stamina, but also excellent coordination and healthy neuron and tissue communication. We start to lose access to the world around us, and worse, to the world inside of us when we lose the strength in our legs. Vitality declines, mobility diminishes, the brain receives fewer impulses, and the danger of falls increases. Because of this, a decrease in leg strength is frequently the first subtly noticeable sign of a larger deterioration. Here's the reality, though. There is yet time. Even as we age, the human body reacts impressively to better nutrition, movement, purpose, and care. Your health and lifespan can be influenced by every decision you make today, including what you eat, how you move, and how you view your body. Legs are more than simply limbs. They serve as your cornerstone. Furthermore, safeguarding that base does more than just maintain mobility. Life itself is being preserved by you. Let's now examine the unexpected fruits that might be endangering that foundation, and what you can do to counteract them. One more thing for the seniors. You still have the ability to gain strength. Many elderly people eventually come to quietly accept bodily deterioration as a given. The diminished vigor, the shaky footing, the slower steps. However, this tacit resignation is not only needless, but it may also be harmful. Your body is actually still listening. If you give your body the correct signals, the appropriate food, and the right care, it can recover, strengthen, and restore itself, even if you are in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. Legs are more than simply limbs. They stand for freedom. They enable you to live with dignity, support your independence, and transport you to the people you care about. However, they rely on you as well. You run the risk of more than just weakness if you neglect your leg health. It entails putting your identity, independence, and standard of living at danger. Even while exercise and mobility are still important, what you put into your body on a daily basis will influence whether you gain or lose strength. It's important to dispel the idea that all fruit is healthy, particularly when it comes to aging. Despite being natural, some fruits behave in the body like refined sugar, subtly eroding your vitality, causing joint inflammation, agitating your nerves, and accelerating the very decline that many people fear. However, there is still hope, and awareness is the first step. Your life's next 10 years can be influenced by the minor adjustments you make now. Select foods that promote brain-to-body connection, energize your muscles, and lessen inflammation. Pay attention to what your body has been teaching you with curiosity and compassion, rather than with frustration. Fading is not a necessary part of aging. It can signify clarity, knowledge, and refinement. Indeed, even strength in particular. Let's now identify the 5 particular fruits that may be subtly undermining your efforts and discover what to use in their place to maintain stable balance and strong legs. The purpose of these lectures is to encourage you to live life to the fullest and most genuine. I would be delighted to hear from you now. Think for a moment, then share one item you've learned that you want to use in your own life. On this path of accepting these realities, let's help one another. If this video was enjoyable to you, please leave a remark with one. If not, feel free to use 0 in your comment. Your opinions are very important to us. For more videos like these, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and share our videos. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope you enjoy living your life as you see fit.